Hi and welcome to the Bite Size Fitness Podcast with myself, Sean Newton, and Pete Dudley, where we chat unscripted live from the gym basement. Listen in, hope you enjoy.
Hi Sean.
Hi Pete, you're back?
Back from Spain.
Yes.
I think that's where we left off, I think.
Exactly.
Going to Spain.
So a part two on bikes and all things cycling. Go on then. Well, how was Spain? Tell us all about it.
Spain was, as always, a fantastic trip. I have the fortune of knowing a very good friend of mine who was a client.
Okay.
Who's now become a good friend of mine. He's still a client actually, but he's now just a really good friend.
Yeah.
And he's got a place, he's Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a place down in southern Spain, very near the Sierra Nevada mountain range.
As you mentioned, we mentioned last time.
Yeah,
so,
which is just an epic mountain range in south of Spain.
And do roads cut through there?
Yeah,
obviously?
yeah. There's
Right.
huge. There's loads of roads around the mountains, and they actually take you up to about. You can cycle on the road to about 2,500 meters, just about, and then you can go off road on a mountain bike and go up to nearly 3,000 meters, which is one of the highest peaks in Europe, actually. But on a natural road, you could. We cycled up to. Got there on the Monday. On the Thursday, we cycled up to the ski station and passed, which was 2,100 meters, proper altitude.
Right. Altitude. So cycling and busting your guts
Hot,
in.
Very hot because Spain have got a heat wave at the moment. So it was. We left at about 7:30 a.m. knowing we're not right at the foothills of the mountains. We've got to cycle probably about 20 kilometers. Plus 25k to get to the base of the mountains,
right?
From where Santi lives.
Yeah.
So we set off at 7:30, got to the kind of the base of the mountain, and you know you're going to climb for about 2 hours.
Whoa!
2 hours of going uphill, because you're not going that quick.
Yeah, sure. Is it snaking up?
It's
then?
snaking up.
Okay.
Not super snaky. It's not like the Alps, which is like going up a spaghetti hill. Like cooked spaghetti hill, should we say? Not a pre-cooked spaghetti hill, as someone pointed out to me before. Now, I had some problems in Spain.
Right, okay.
I had some problems.
What, with the bike, with your body?
With the bike, me on the bike.
Okay.
You can take your bike around the world if you pack it up in what you call a bike box.
Right, okay.
So it's like a big suitcase for a bike.
Okay. Is this expensive then? Or is
No,
this,
and probably my mate who I go to Spain with has a bike box business.
Right, oh, okay. Well,
so anyway, I wanted to take my bike over because obviously I'm fitted to my bike.
Yeah.
The last time I was over there, I borrowed his mate's bike that's permanently there, and I didn't get on with it.
Yeah.
It just wasn't quite, as I said before, it wasn't quite set up right, and I found my back was aching, so I thought, I'm taking my bike over, it's not a huge cost.
Yeah.
You know, and anyway, I haven't undone my bike before. Wheels come off, the saddle comes off, the handlebars comes down, pedals off, in the thing, pack it up, put it back together. I made a mental note of where the seat post was.
Yeah.
It's actually numbered at the back of mine.
Yeah.
And and it was number 21.
Uh-huh.
Put the bike back together. First day, as soon as got there about midday, Monday, straight out Monday afternoon for a couple of hours, felt alright. Tuesday, we did 135 kilometres. Started to have a bit of a problem on the Tuesday.
Okay.
With my glutes. Were really aching, and not saddle soreness. This was glute ache. Like, why am I? And I've never had this before.
Fatigue.
I just didn't know. I didn't know,
okay.
and it was
Just
actually. I had a really, and I actually had. We did 135 kilometers on the Tuesday. There's always hills. There's always mountains. We weren't in the Sierra Nevada this day, but there's always steep stuff going on where Santi lives.
Yeah.
And I struggled. I got to 100 kilometers, and I had a real mental black moment. I got off the bike. And I said to Santi, I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to cycle along anymore. I don't want to do it. I'm not good for this. I had a real down.
Oh my goodness.
Because I was struggling. I had to get off the saddle. But staying in my pedals, I had to get off the saddle almost every 100 metres because my glutes were aching so much. Now, if you've got to do that in the midday sun, which was 35, 40 degrees, for 35 kilometres, it gets very frustrating.
Yeah, sure.
You just don't feel you can get any... Road biking is all about synergy.
You said rhythm
and being coming with a bike. And when you have to keep getting off the saddle because your glutes ache, it became a negative space. And we couldn't work out why. Because he said, I said, I haven't had this before. And then we said, well, have you put the bike back together properly? I was like, yes. So we got back to his place. after a very unenjoyable 35 kilometres.
Yeah.
And I'd realised that I'd put the saddle back. I thought it was, I said 21, but actually the notches were 20, another notch for half, and then 21. So of course, I'd actually put my post at 21, whereas actually back home it was actually 20 and a half. I just took the half notch as a 1.
Okay, look what.
So we're talking.
People can't
we're
visualise
talking in terms of height now.
Yeah, come on.
Probably a quarter of an inch, if that.
Okay.
But that quarter of an inch, oh my word, that meant I was overstretching on the downward stroke. My glutes were getting overstretched on the way down.
Yeah.
I was pulling the pedal up because obviously your feet are clipped into the pedal.
Sure.
So I was pulling up from a lower point.
Right.
The mechanics of everything. Your hips are set up differently suddenly. I was getting pushed further forward I was riding further forward on the saddle. I couldn't quite sit back because I felt that you'd thought, well, you surely know the saddle was up high, but it wasn't up high enough for me to be obvious significantly. Yeah. But that quarter of an inch, I mean less than that, it's probably about 6-7 millimeters.
So if you were commuting, you wouldn't even, commuting
piddly you wouldn't even know, and I didn't know for 100k.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I started to get this real glue take at around 80, 90, and I just put it down to, I don't know what I put it down to, didn't put it down to anything. I just thought, oh well, it's one of those things. But then Wednesday,
I'm going to be devil's advocate here and interrupt and say, well, certainly the seat height, but that heat as well.
There's the heat.
And staying hydrated.
There's the heat. Everything. I was eating. I was having enough. Got all the food right. Because I'm well aware of the heat, and it was very, very, very hot. Mm-hmm. It was the seat height.
Okay.
So we went straight back to the place, load it down, and realised, that's what I've done. But damage had been done to the glutes. So riding Wednesday and Thursday wasn't still great. So the Thursday, got back to the original story, when we were climbing up the mountain to the ski station, my glutes were really struggling. And Santi went to about 2,500 metres. He went beyond the ski station, where you literally cycled past the ski lifts.
Cool.
I mean, I'm parked at the ski lifts, so you're already really high. And he went at 2,500 metres at the top of the ski lifts, where the ski lifts start or finish. Yeah. So I was at the bottom of the ski lift. But anyway, other than the glute ache, the riding is just as per normal. The roads are pond flat. There's no one on the roads. It's so quiet.
That must be.
It's the condition of the road and how less and even when the traffic is there, they're so forgiving. I mean, trucks literally, they hoot you from behind before they're coming, so they let you know they're there, and they're pulling over completely on the other side of the road. They're very, very, very cycle aware.
Right.
And Spain's twice the size of England and half the population. So,
of course.
You've got that even in the busy city. It's nothing like London or whatever, even Brighton even.
Yeah, sure.
So Spain was epic. I loved it. I still loved it. I ended the day very positive, even though my glutes ached. I had a very, very positive end to that day.
Good.
And I'd acclimatised to the heat as well. So
sure.
So fantastic.
And riding since, have your glutes? How long did it take to recover?
I think basically I went straight back into got back on the Friday, I went back out on the Saturday, ate for 2 or 3 days, probably on the Monday after the Friday back, I was fine. And I've obviously ridden for 2 to 3 weeks now and it's fine. So absolutely fine.
It really is imperative
to get your bike set up. Now obviously if I wasn't so knowledgeable, I could have started playing around with the handlebars, I could have started playing around with where your pedals, where your cleats they're called, which are where your shoes clip into the pedal. I could have started playing around where my foot was on the thing. I could have started playing with the whole bike, wondering what's not working, and suddenly the whole bike's. If you adjust the handlebars to fit your shoulders, suddenly it hits your hips. If you adjust the saddle purely for your knee length, then maybe you're coming down too steep on the hands. I know it sounds all really boring and technical, but if you get a road bike and you want to do some serious distance, you must get a bike fit. I strongly recommend that. If people can take one thing away, get a bike fit. And I'm actually going to get a proper bike fit.
Okay.
There's a guy in Brighton called Brighton. It was called Brighton Bike Fit.
Okay.
And he spends 2 hours with you.
Right. Okay.
And this is, I'm talking about if you want to go long. If you're just doing a few miles every day, it's not. You could get a bike fit at the shop where you get the bike, but I'm talking about, I want to go for long 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hour day rides.
Yeah.
it's imperative to get that bike. It shouldn't have to be the comfortability of the bike. Isn't the thing you need to worry about when you're on the bike for 10 hours. When you're on the bike for 10 hours, all you need to be worrying about is how long have I got and have I got enough food.
Now, before we go, because this is only a short episode,
yes,
I'm going to go way to the other side and talk about spinning.
Spinning.
Now, I remember with my spinning training, and you'll know this as well, one of the duty of care, it's almost essential. Same thing again, making sure, not perhaps to the accuracy of a fitted road bike, but making sure that seat height is
100%.
Is 100%.
It can massively dictate. There's one of the trainers here who's just got himself a bike, Martin. He's just got himself a second-hand bike to cycle in for work.
Yeah.
And his saddle is so low. What the first thing he's complaining about? He says, my knees and my thighs.
Yeah.
I said, because your knees are almost up into your chin.
Yeah.
You need to get the saddle up. A lot of people feel they need to have the saddle perfectly so they can touch both feet on the floor, but that doesn't necessarily make for a perfect saddle stroke.
Sure.
But yeah, spinning, yeah, exactly. I'm a spin instructor, so get that saddle height, get the handlebars height.
Yeah, definitely ask someone, isn't it? I'll ask you.
It just makes your experience so much nicer, and you maximise your workout. If that saddle's wrong and that handlebar's wrong, you'll have aches and pains coming where you don't, and it could cause a knee problem.
Exactly.
And a hamstring problem.
Yeah,
so.
I've seen knee problems caused from it.
And it takes 30 seconds to ask someone, can you set this bike up for me?
Sure. Okay, it's clattering around in the back of the
bit
gym
clattery.
Just to finish off then, let's tie those two together. Do you use spinning or the stationary bikes to aid your outdoor? Oh, what about come on, when it's
what you would use is what is called a turbo trainer.
Right, yes, I've seen those.
Which is a rolling road for my road bike.
I see.
So that's what it's actually called. So it's like a contraption that you hook my actual bike into on the back wheel.
Yeah.
And there's different levels of luxury ones which you can remotely adjust from the front, and you can dictate inclines and declines and stuff like that. But you can get it's almost like a set of rollers on the back of your bike with your front wheel locked in, and you just cycle. And that's what I would do for winter training, because it's on my bike.
Right, sure.
So as good as the watt bike stairs upstairs and the spin bikes are good, they're great, but as well as I can adjust it to my body frame, it's not my bike.
Yeah, sure.
So
you have become a purist.
Haven't I? I'm not saying I haven't used them.
Of course,
because obviously the further down, and they are awesome, and the spin bikes are as close as you can get to a proper bike.
Certainly, yeah.
So in terms of adjustments and making so they are awesome bikes, but obviously, I am become a pure mammal now.
Pure mammal. Proud of it.
I'm proud of it.
Okay, well that's probably it on bikes. Unless we can always.
We can talk about. We'll talk about the Attack next. I think because we've got obviously it's the Tour de France at the moment.
Yeah.
And we can talk about my first proper big event, which is an event called the Attack, which is basically one of the Tour de France stages, which takes place 1 week before the Tour de France starts in the Alps, and I did that a couple of years ago.
Okay.
And let's just say it was an education.
And also we'll definitely share that, and maybe something for those beginners or jumping on the spin bike or going to spin classes, what they can you have to cast your mind back. So what they can get out of it, other than just stand up, sit down and cycle fast.
The Attack story is not just for advanced. This what happened to me in that event. There's a huge learning curve that I think people that haven't even been on a bike would benefit to learn from.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I had problems.
Oh, good. Well, definitely want to hear that.
Yeah.
Definitely will. Okay, until next time.
Thanks, people.
Cheers. And there we have it. Thank you very much for listening, and hope you enjoyed that. And do feel free to reach out to myself or Pete with any questions or suggestions for these mini bite-sized podcasts. On the email, it's pete@ptpete.com. On Instagram, it's ptpete150, or you can catch me on Instagram at SeanBFit. Speak soon. Bye.